Helsley's exams and whatnot go yesterday? What's the update on him today?
Yeah, I got an MRI. MRI was clean, so he's good.
John in front.
Ollie, I know it's all hands on deck, but he threw 33 pitches yesterday. Is he still available even after doing that? I mean,
Helsley will not be available today. Yeah.
Derek.
To follow that with the obvious question, well, you know where I'm going to add. So how do you, if you have a lead in the ninth, how do you close a game, and when is the next time you can go to Helsley if you're able to extend your season?
I mean, my hope is Miles closes this game out. And if he doesn't, we'll figure the rest out. Helsley won't be available today. He's going to play catch just like any other normal day. And he'll be available for us tomorrow. So that's the plan as of right now.
You think through games after having managed them. I'm wondering how many times you thought through that ninth inning last night, and what is there to be done? We've asked you a lot about what's the line of when a player might be physically compromised, how you find that out and make a move quickly. I see that earlier this season too.
Yeah, you're asking getting him out before the bomb at bat?
Yes, or
okay.
Or if you notice, what are you looking for knowing that a player is physically compromised? If he says he's okay, you have to trust him, as you've told us.
Yeah.
So what do you look for that might be cause for concern, and how do you then act
Listen,
on that?
he was more erratic than we've seen this year. So you're constantly thinking, is he okay? There was no communication that it wasn't. There was no pain. It was just a matter of being able to finish his pitches and locate. And at that point, you trust your all-star closer, who's been really darn good for you all year, to figure it out. Could you have gone to Jack or anybody else, Palante at bomb after the second walk? Absolutely. Absolutely could. And I can argue for doing it and not doing it. It didn't work, and that's the part that sucks. So at the end of the day, could you have taken him out earlier? Sure. We trusted our all-star to figure it out.
Ollie in the back on your right.
Your thought process in your lineup changes today?
We like just righty-righty on Nola. And are we sacrificing defense with Carlson not being in there? Absolutely. We've done it all year, where we've picked offense over defense at times, and we won our fair share of games. So we'll treat this no different. We go down because of it. See you guys next year.
Jeff, and then Katie.
Ollie, how do you all manage Jack's workload at this point? Obviously, he gets hot in that game yesterday. He's not used to coming out of the bullpen. How do you see him today and tomorrow?
I see him being available today and tomorrow, depending on kind of what goes down today. So there's a chance he sees some innings today. We'll see how the game kind of plays out, but he'll be available. Yeah.
Ollie, obviously you saw one good swing from Juan Yepes yesterday. What did you see from him collectively over his last few weeks that makes you confident in giving him the nod? You mentioned the righty-righty. He's not very overly splitty. What did you see from him specifically?
Yeah, he's not, to your point, overly splitty. If I'm being honest, there was a lot of ground balls pull side that we didn't love. There were some adjustments he was making. We saw a solid swing to the right side of the field, line drive for a run late in the game during the regular season. But, man, the kid, he can stomach the situation. He's built for it. We like the right-on-right matchup, and we're going to take our shot with him.
Rick.
In as much as you're presuming there'll be a third game, who are the candidates to start that game?
It depends on who we don't use today. All hands on deck, like we mentioned earlier. If the game lines up for us to use a couple of those guys, then the guy we don't use, we'll start tomorrow, and we'll mix and match and figure it all out. But it doesn't matter unless we win today.
And one more.
Yeah.
How hard is it to have an 11-man staff all of a sudden, which you really haven't had all year long?
I mean, you just embrace the fact that it's going to be tough. Tonight's not going to be easy. We're up for the challenge. It'll be a fun one. Losing yesterday didn't feel real good. That group is motivated, I'll tell you that.
Tyler.
Ollie, what do you look for from Michaelis to know that he's going to be having a good day or having a tougher day?
Yeah, the game will tell you. It really will. His ability to throw any pitch in any count and feel comfortable having his mix and just pounding the zone with that mix. If you're able to eliminate several pitches with him because he's not in the zone with it, that's when you know it's going to be a little tougher for him to navigate a lineup. So as long as he's able to locate his pitches, we should be in good shape.
Well, you touched on it just a second ago, but your confidence in your team's ability with the leaders that have to flush what happened last night, or even use it as fuel for today. Just the confidence that they can put that behind them. It was a crazy ending there, but to not let that linger over into the next game.
I have a ton of confidence. I wish this game started at 9 this morning. I wish we played a doubleheader actually yesterday. But no, this group is motivated. We know what's at stake, man. And when you think about the guys that are in that clubhouse, they've experienced this before. That group of leaders in Yachty and Wayno and Albert. I mean, you go down that list, and it's just a lot of just real competitors. There's guys that embrace competition and the tough part of this game, and last night wasn't short of that. So we look forward to it today.
John?
Ollie, Chuck, last night you had 108 off the bat. You had 103 one time. You hit a lot of balls hard. How much of it is a matter of just finding a way to manufacture runs, string singles together, things like that?
I hear you. Yes, I'd love to single them to death. That's what it takes tonight. But we've done a pretty good job of driving the baseball, hitting it hard, and hitting our share of doubles and homers, and it's played well for us. So that first time through the lineup, I thought we took a really good approach on Wheeler. He pitched a nice game. He's a good competitor. We respect him a ton. We had a lot of hard contact. That ball that Albert hit, I believe it was 108. I'll take that any day. The one that Nolan hit, usually it's a souvenir. So we took good swings. It didn't work out.
Daniel?
Ollie, I know you've talked about this before, but you're not one for kind of big speeches or motivating speeches. That kind of stick true? I mean, I know you mentioned the veterans who kind of have that naturally inside the clubhouse.
If you need to be motivated for this game, then you don't belong in that clubhouse. There would be no speech. We're ready to play. Yeah.
Any last ones for Ollie? All right, we'll see you post game.
All right.
Start with Katie up front.
Paul, all season long, this team has crafted an identity based on resilience and keeping relatively even keeled regardless of the situation. How do you feel like that trait is going to help you guys today?
Yeah, I mean, that's what we have to do. I mean, we know the spot we're in. You know, we got to win today's game to keep playing, and we'll go out there and do everything we can. So, I mean, I said it before. I mean, these 3-game series, something we're used to. You know, you play 3-4-game series the whole year. So, obviously, yesterday didn't go the way we wanted it to, but that one's over, and find a way to win today. We get a chance tomorrow to try to win the series.
Jeff and Derek.
Paul, one of the things we've gone back and forth with Ollie all year is how much weight you put into a guy's history versus a certain pitcher and what the at-bats look like. How do you look at your at-bats against Nola? What do you see from those, and how does that kind of translate to what you all need to get done today?
For me, it's just about trying to execute today. Whatever I did earlier this year, last year, 5 years ago, doesn't really have any bearing on it. So try to go out there and execute, try to find a way to get on, and I know the other guys will be doing the same thing. So for me, it's just all about today. I'm not worried about what's happened in the past, and there's times where you got really good numbers off guys and you don't get on base, and there's times where you got bad numbers and it goes the other way. So especially in the playoffs, just at bat by at bat, inning by inning, pitch by pitch, and try to go out there and help us win.
Derek?
Paul, last year you guys were in the wild card game and it was one and done. Having a series like you talked about, this is what you guys are used to playing. Do you feel like, okay, this is a good playoff format because of it, because you could come to the ballpark today and you weren't done, or do you have any reservation because you're a division champ on the brink of this?
I mean, it really doesn't matter what we think. We're in this situation. This is, the rules are the same for every team. So this is what we have to do. We got to try to win 2 out of 3 and lost that first one. So I think our focus is just on trying to play well today and try to find a way to win and give ourselves a chance tomorrow.
Do you think creating a playoff around a series, though, is better after going through the one game last year?
you could make the argument both ways. I try not to have opinions. I just do whatever the rules are that they tell us to play by. So, I mean, like I said, I could make an argument that the one game was great, and I could make an argument that 3 is better. So I don't have an opinion either way.
John?
Well, you were in the on-deck circle when Albert hit a ball 108 off the bat. I'm sure you saw Nolan's ball 103 miles an hour. Is it difficult to drive the ball in this? Well, you know from years of playing here, it's going to be even colder tonight. Is it hard to get balls out of here in this weather?
I mean, you can do it. I mean, look at Yepes, and there's other ways, but there's usually not cheap homers. This ballpark's always been a tougher place to hit, especially when the weather gets cold. But both teams are playing, with that weather and that stadium. So, you got to find a way to score, and you just play whatever the elements are. We don't know what's going to happen tonight, and we'll just go out there and try to do the best we can.
A few others for Paul. Ben?
Goldie, a big start for Yepes tonight. You go back to spring training, and he's the guy who gets kind of bumped off the roster when Albert comes in. I'm curious. You've spent time with him at first. Just have you observed what he's been able to do this year to go from that moment where he finds out he's not making the team to here starting? And what is the biggest game of the year, unless there's another one?
Yeah, I mean, look, he's played great for us. I'm sure. There's been some ups and downs for him, just like there's been for all of us. He was on the playoff roster last year after not playing in the big leagues, and then, had a chance to make the team, but, it didn't happen. But then he came up and had some really big hits for us and some big games, and, then hurt and then kind of hadn't got as much of an opportunity. So, I kind of think that speaks to the depth of this team, but he's done a great job. He's played very well for us. He's won some games for us, some big hits, homers, and, we're going to need him tonight. So he's a valuable part of this team, and, happy for the way he's played this so far this year. And I'm sure, he wants to go out there and play well for us tonight.
Tyler?
Well, from a personal standpoint, you've had a lot of good years in your career, and this is certainly one of them. Do you consider this your best year? And whether or not you do, what was working so well for you to be the best version of yourself in 2022?
I mean, I haven't looked at the stats. I mean, it's had to be one of the best years, definitely in the regular season, which is great, but that's over now. So, I mean, our focus is definitely on trying to win in the postseason. I mean, that's what you remember. I think it was just trying to be consistent during the year. It's no different than any other year. I always have the same goals and try to do the same thing for whatever reason. Sometimes some years are better than others, and, I don't know if you can always really put your finger on it. When you're in it, you're just trying to do the best you can, and, stuff happens. But as good or bad as the regular season is, that's all behind us, and I think the focus is 100% on just trying to find a way to win tonight and give ourselves a chance tomorrow.
John?
Paul, Ollie was saying one of the things he loves most about you is you're bluntly honest. He said when you're not feeling well, you tell him I'm not feeling well. But he said you told him you're feeling really well, feeling really good right now. How does that translate when you're in the box, or can you feel how you're feeling in the box? How does that translate to hitting?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the results are what they are. I didn't do anything yesterday. I was 0 for 3 and had some chances with some guys on and didn't get the job done. Hopefully today will be different. But, yeah, I mean, you're just trying to go up there and do the same thing. I mean, if you don't feel good, you got to find a way to still get the job done. There's plenty of games throughout the year, or even my career, where it's like, oh, man, doesn't feel great. And then you get 2-3 hits, homers, RBIs, doubles, whatever it is. So, you don't put too much stock in that, because you can perform when you feel not great. And sometimes when you feel great, you can, not get any hits. And so, especially in the playoffs, when it's really just about the team and trying to win that game, you're just trying to do your job and trying to find a way. A blue pit can be the greatest thing, and, a line out, which can normally be a good play in the regular season, doesn't get the job done. So I think the playoffs just makes it easy that each time you just get in the box, you're just focused on, what do I need to do in this situation? How can I get on base or move a runner or drive a guy in or have a good at bat, whatever it may be. And same thing on defense. You're just so in the moment. It's definitely one of the fun parts about the playoffs, is all that other stuff's out the window. So, you never know what's going to happen, and just try to go in there and do my job. And I said yesterday, didn't do a great job of that. Was 0 for 3, and, hopefully today will be better.
Any last ones? Rick, one more in front.
Given what happened here yesterday and what's happened in Cleveland, where apparently they're going to play till dawn, and what Seattle and San Diego did yesterday, how impressive has the postseason pitching been so far?
Yeah, I mean, we know the postseason, the pitching is great. That's why all these teams are in the postseason, us included. You're only going to face the best pitchers, and so you know there's going to be some tight games. It'll come down to one pitch or one play or a couple plays, just like our game. And I didn't see really any of the other games, but I'm assuming they were probably pretty similar. And you know, that's the fun part of it is, you know, staying in the moment, trying to find a way. And, you know, there's going to be some tight games. And, you know, this one wouldn't surprise me if it was that way again. And hopefully we can, you know, find a way to win it.
Thanks for coming in, Paul. Good luck
right.
tonight.
Máquina Deportiva, lo mejor del mundo del deporte, con análisis, comentarios, entrevistas.